I think this car, I tell people it was the end of 2011, and it was raining, and it was December, and basically my folks convinced me, took me. Basically, maybe they were just bored that day and they wanted something to do. But we went and got a new car. It was fairly cheap for that time, and it had already had the XM radio in the car when I bought it. So had all these great stations, and one of them was an EDM station, like, I don't know, not liquid metal, that's the metal station. It was some sort of dance, electric area, that was it. Electric area, that was and I remember I drove up to Novato to go visit Psycho Girlfriend number 2, and just flipping through the stations, and I remember what I listened to was like a Republican channel that wanted to get Obama out and only make him a one-term president. And I also just was jamming to some electric area, EDM, dance music, electronica station. And that was back in 2011, 2012 or something like that. And I don't know, it just hit your eardrums just right. And I don't know, I think I was just embarrassed to try and admit that I like that music. But I don't really remember being exposed to it very often before then. I still love punk, and I've grown to love like metal, and I still love reggae. I've even heard a few country songs that aren't so bad, but I don't think I'll ever be throwing myself into the ring as an official country music fan. It's just a little bit too slow and too I want to say nice, but it just doesn't hit right. But yeah, I remember one thing I really liked about this car was I could tell people it looked tough from the front, as long as you're just looking at it head on with has some sort of grill, but from the side it's just a glorified soccer mom car. And I'll be getting a van soon anyway, so won't have to worry about what to tell people, they'll just see. But yeah, that electronica and EDM, and then I remember in like 2013 or something, that's when I added a few EDM stations to my Pandora. I think because I saw some documentary on Swedish House Mafia, and I liked just the way they were bouncing, and but I never really got into them a ton. But I'd say Deadmau5 is my favorite EDM artist. I'm sure that's probably like saying, I don't know, MC Hammer was your favorite rapper back, or Vanilla Ice, as he's probably super mainstream. But I don't know, pretty much anything I hear Dead come out with is a banger. It just hits right. So yeah, I think ever since then there's been some songs. Cascade, There Might Be Coffee, Strobe for sure, just bangers. I never get tired of listening to those. And Some Chords, I remember 2018 season we were banging Some Chords in practice, and all the fellas we were just balling that day. So that there's some random like Tuesday or Wednesday. That song's always gonna remind me of one, that practice, but two, that team was just freaking gangbusters. And I feel like that's such a huge part of life sometimes, is just right place and right time, and you just get fortunate. I don't like to take too much credit for that group of seniors. They came in 2015 and went out in 2018, and they definitely two to 3 of them definitely helped out win that title in 2016. And it was definitely about 5 of them in 2018 where we locked up that 1 seed. We won league outright, and it wasn't a tie, and those guys were just ballers. So that was just a fun season, probably one of the more stressful seasons, but I think it's just nice to be back. Yesterday was a little bit stressful, just dragging everything out. I'm finally got the freaking burrito off of my arm where I couldn't do much, but still pretty limited. But by the time I drug everything out and enough people showed up, and God bless everybody that helps out and putting stuff up and noticing that I can only do so much. We got everything up early and people were playing, and it was great, and it was just nice to be out of the house and back helping out the world. It was a long and a short 3.5 weeks, and tomorrow will be a whole month, and never been through anything like that, but it's so nice to just be out and helping again in the world. It's pretty easy when you're just laying around and you're not doing a lot or anything, and you're just taking care of yourself to feel a little bit worthless and a little bit like you're just not helping out. I mean, I think every human's got to have that place in life where they feel like they're needed and their help is wanted. And honestly, I've struggled with that over the years, just feeling like what I do is important and it's helping out people. I'd rather like to go back to some saying that I don't know when in college, but it just kind of hit me that I've only felt like I've really done maybe 100 days of really hard work in my life, be it physically, like digging ditches and working with my brother doing construction stuff, or in the classroom really studying, cramming, putting in effort into a project, an essay or something like that, presentation, or actually working. I feel like I've just grinded a few times over the years, and I figured it out, and then I just get content with one day of grinding, and then I just kind of use that as the marker, and then I just kind of fly by the seat of the pants the rest of the time. And I'm realizing those are not good qualities. I think you probably would feel better about yourself if you're grinding every day. But yeah, I think the amount of times I've had to really put my foot down and go for stuff, I don't know. I told myself it's been like 100 times I had to really study. I had to, pull out the calligraphy, printing on some sort of project, really do a good lesson plan. I'd say, now that I think about it, probably practice planning, I've probably done more intense and introspective plans just to get a practice ready than any of the days that I taught or jobs that I worked at. So maybe that's something going forward now. Now I have a little perspective on how little I could do for almost a month. Now I realize how much time there is in each day, and how much more time, even if it's just a little bit more each day, I can dedicate to just grinding and everything. And I wrote together like a decent plan for yesterday. I spent quite a while on it the day before on Sunday, but of course, players started to drop like flies as practice time got closer, and that's not been uncommon this year with the pandemic and practice times being few and far between and a little bit inconsistent, and the coaches being inconsistent, myself not being there for spans of time because of this or that, and it just is what it is. But also, you just got to roll with the punches, and you got to make changes on the fly. And I figured out something yesterday for them to do, and there was some interest in it. I thought it definitely helped having those two other coaches there, bringing up the level, being super talkative and passionate about it, which they always are, and hopefully that's a good step moving forward. But it was great to just be back out on the grass at this point, and hopefully this all happens this year, and we actually do get these 10 matches and the hopefully a couple other matches that go on. But gosh, it's just nice to see or feel some sort of normalcy again. And it's just been such a crazy year. Dropping off your kid at school and then watching them run into the playground. I mean, that's all I wanted from the start of this year, and it makes her so happy. I'm glad that we don't have to do the computer stuff again. I'm glad they don't have to be force-fed all this technology so soon. It was the only thing we could do because of the pandemic, but it's nice to step back, and now it's about relationships and not so much the numbers and the letters. And I think I forget that a lot of the time too. There's got to be time for people every day. It can't just be about the X's and O's, the work, the learning your numbers, learning your letters. Okay, it's got to be more about the people. That's something I've never been super good at either. I don't really I don't keep relationships very well. It's just a little too selfish. My own well-being. I think I'm just too involved in my own head. I'm definitely an introvert. I definitely prefer to be off on my own, doing whatever. But I don't ever feel like bored or anything. I don't understand the people that get bored. There's too many things to keep yourself occupied. I've never been someone that's complained about being bored. I guess I just don't want to be forced into anything. But on the same token, making decisions is more difficult for me. I think it's got to start with smaller ones. Smaller decisions each day that you feel like you're really taking control of. Maybe that's it. I think the interest in electronic music might have something to do with that. It might have, the first time I chose a genre that was outside of anybody else, what's the word I'm looking for? Suggesting it to me. I kind of just fell upon it myself, and I don't know. It made me move around, made me kind of dance in my seat. I don't know. It's got to just be the repetitive sound of it that's easy to understand. I think that's also why I fight everybody on my hair so often. I like the way it looks, but also it's something I have control over. I think everybody, there was a point where people could stop telling me when to get a haircut, and I made the decision to switch careers, and now I'm in a situation that I can keep it like this. And it's just, that means it's important to me to just be different than, maybe there's a different way without looking like such a freaking hippie. Anyways, yeah, I thought the car just kind of it crept back up on me as I was getting in just now after dropping off the little one. And this was my first car. about to get rid of it to get a minivan, because I'm gonna have 4 ladies in it at one time. Four women. That's something else I'm learning about. Is I was wondering how it was gonna be having daughters, and I talked to someone that had 2 daughters, and he said, I don't know, I just pretend like they're boys and treat them like humans, and I don't know, that really went a long way for me. I had so much experience coaching girls. I don't think I put enough stock into that, but yeah, it's just people. I pretty much talk to girls the same way that I talk to boys, and I think it's nice to keep yourself on that even keel. Maybe it's hard. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't even notice. But I make an effort to call them dudes, because a dude is it's not gender specific for me. Dude is like just means like you're good people, and that you're friendly, or you're part of the good sphere. And dudes just has a positive connotation for me. It always has. So yeah. But this 2011 end of the year GMC Terrain about to go bye-bye here pretty soon. It's a nice car. I liked it. I thought about keeping it for the little ones, but I was reminded how much money it would be and a hassle to keep it alive, but it won't be driven, and it's just gonna be something at the house. But that's another thing I need to work on, is I don't need to keep so much stuff around. It's okay to part with items. This attachment that I have to stuff, I don't know if it's warranted. I don't know if sentimental attachment is like, how long are you sentimentally attached to something? Could I just take a picture of all the things that I'm sentimentally attached to, and then, I don't know, save that somewhere? And I've got a ton of t-shirts which I keep telling myself I'm sentimentally attached to, like all my old band t-shirts that are all like shredded and ripped, and they got holes in them, and they're just, I don't know if I'll ever wear them again, and the armpits are all blown out, or they got sweat stains, but I still have them. I've got laundry baskets full of old t-shirts and stuff. Why am I keeping those still? Because of all the memories in them which I can't remember anymore? I don't know. I also think that if I just chucked them, I would be upset with myself. But maybe just for a little while. I'm not sure. Those shirts represent so many good times that I had. Just like all the tickets that I kept. But then I just made like a collage with those tickets. I'm pretty sure I have that collage somewhere. But the tickets are bordering the collage, and I put some pictures and I painted it, and it looks artsy fartsy, but it's nowhere near like talented or anything, if you ask me. But should I just chuck that too? I don't really want to. Maybe I should just really go through the stuff that's important and make it look nice, and then put it somewhere where I see every day, where I appreciate it every day. And that'll keep the memories on the front of the brain, I guess. I don't know. I know there's a lot of stuff at my house. I know that I'm a mild hoarder, I believe, but I don't know how to shake this like sentimental attachment I have to things. I just see like importance or memories and stuff all the time, and maybe that's a wake-up call. I don't have enough going on right now if I'm too concerned with remembering stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know if remembering all those things is more important than putting your effort towards the future. It's an interesting way to think about it. And this is therapeutic for me just to think out loud. And now it's out there, and I can go back and rethink about it or never think about it again. But I was trying to find another time when I would do this, but with going back to work yesterday, both of them went to work and to practice, and I'm going to work right now. I don't know, I couldn't find a quiet time to do it at home. I almost did it on I think yesterday, but the wifey was working, and not gonna lie, I was embarrassed to think about. I was embarrassed to think about doing it at home. And yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just not super cool to say you're gonna go do that. I don't know, I think she's just frustrated too that I haven't been working. That's understandable. She's pregnant. She's a planner. She's great though, I love her. But like I said, therapeutic just to have thoughts out there. Just have thoughts out there again. I guess if your thoughts don't become conversation or they're not out there, I guess they're just thoughts. If they don't get past your lips, they're not ways that you might be changing yourself. Like I said, those 3.5 weeks gave me a lot more perspective on just time. Gave me a lot more time to think. Even though I maybe was bored just a tiny bit, but nowhere bored where I was like throwing stuff around or punching holes in walls or, frustrated to the point of anything. Just I think bored that because my hand was limiting me so much. But just yesterday, when I got back into at home, man, I was exhausted. Just being out, walking around, trying to type. It was a lot, but it felt good. I definitely slept a lot better. Still woke up super early, which I don't mind. Hopefully I can start running here again in the next few days. But just moving around the house, it felt like just all the jostling might hurt my hand. I mean, it's gonna hurt anyways, but I don't know. I'll just give it a couple more days before I really start pounding on it. And I've only lost like a month. I can still hit my 2,000 miles, I think, this year. Just have to up my weekly. 40 was doable as long as I got out 7 days a week. It was more difficult when I took 1 or 2 days off. But yeah, trying to run 2,000 miles this year, just as another great gentleman's running 2,000. And honestly, he was the influence for me trying to run 1,000 miles last year too, which I ended up with 1,448, give or take. But that was the amount that I logged last year. And obviously the pandemic allowed me to do a lot more running in March and April. And I think once I got on a good one there, I just got super motivated, and it continued all the way through. I think I had 50 days where I ran every day at least 3 miles, all the way up to, I think I topped out at 12.14 miles. Not fast at all. I think I was running 9-minute miles, 9:08, stuff like that, but yeah, that sense of accomplishment, and was a good thing that came out of last year. Ran through a couple pairs of shoes, and just felt better about myself. Mentally, I'd get that daily accomplishment, and physically dropped about 20 pounds, and I'm down even more once I all this happened too. So my appetite's just not been there. But exercise, more than like looking slim and trim, pays more dividends for me personally and mentally. I noticed when it would start raining and couldn't be out running that just started getting not anxious but irritable a little bit. Just burning all that gas early on in the morning definitely set me up for a more productive day. And hopefully today, just getting a few thoughts out there on a Hug podcast sets me up for a better day. I'm gonna get back at practice today too, but thanks for sitting here. Thanks for taking the ride with me. I'm at work. Let's make some money. Thanks again for thoughts too. Bye.